My friends, I want to show you Google. Take a look at this. Go to Google and type in silver and Reddit, and you see all these top stories. Silver is the new short squeeze target for Reddit traders. These market analysts, blah, blah, blah. Move over, GameStop. Reddit traders are targeting silver now. New York Post. Reddit's epic silver squeeze is only helping Wall Street. This is the most brazen and insane fake news I have ever seen. I apologize to those of you who have watched the rest of my content throughout the day, because this is the main thing I've been harping on in every single video. I don't normally do that. Sometimes I'll get, sometimes, but this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Seriously, share this. Okay, look, let me show you this post right here from Wall Street Bets. It is someone's watching Bloomberg, and you can see it says this woman, Emma Chandra of Bloomberg News, and then underneath, retail traders lose interest in GameStop. That is 100% fake news. The number one post right now I believe it's the number one post on Wall Street Bets, why you definitely should not under any circumstances fall for the silver scams. You are being played by the most powerful elite on the planet. Think about what they say in that New York Post article. Reddit's epic silver squeeze is only helping Wall Street. There is no epic silver squeeze. It doesn't exist. If silver is going up, and it did earlier today, it's because the media is pumping it. Now, this is where things like I'm sorry, man. The veil has been shattered. We're seeing two things right now. Two things. The first, they don't like that GameStop has actually, that the GameStop retail investors are actually hurting the hedge funds. Melvin Capital down 53%. They don't like it. So what we're seeing now is, I believe this is more likely to be some kind of standalone complex where all these people in media have connections. They get fake stories seeded, and then dumb journalists with malicious journalists who are trying to make a pretty penny pump out this story to divert everyone's attention away from GameStop. A lot of the people who are investing are probably just someone who saw the news. There's now 8 million users on r/Wall Street Bets. 8 million. A good portion of them probably just tuned in as a get-rich-quick scheme. Not all of them, not most, but just a lot, right? I think what we're seeing is that these special interests, these elites, are trying to convince people, go buy Dogecoin, go buy silver. But we're seeing something else more nefarious than ever. We are seeing exactly why Wall Street Bets is doing what they're doing. We are seeing the crony machine in play. They are lying to you to get you to buy silver so they can pump the price of silver up. Then all of their friends will sell out when silver peaks, leave you holding an empty bag. They do it all the time, and they're doing it in our face right now.
Now, it's not just the New York Post there. It's also CNBC that has this headline, Silver jumps 8%, touches 8-year high as Reddit traders try their squeeze play with the metal. And when you look at the media coverage, it definitely kind of changed. It was always sinister. It was always extremely negative towards Redditors, towards the plebes or peasants who are actually gaining some financial wisdom and outsmarting the Wall Street guys. It was always negative towards them because they're not part of the in club, they're not part of the establishment. But we have to understand it's always coming from the same kind of point of view. It's always coming from the same kind of perspective. Washington Post wrote an opinion piece about the hedge funds being the good guys. We have MSNBC literally had an anchor on there talking about how the Reddit traders are going to be self-harming themselves like Instagram women who are depressed, that they're going to start cutting themselves because they're wasting their time. I'm not kidding you. It's absolutely bonkers and absolutely just insane, the coverage we're seeing by MSNBC. And then, of course, we also had Jimmy Kimmel on television to the national public talking about these amateur investors who are maybe influenced by Russia.
What?
Literally.
Russian bots.
Yes, Russian developers. It was exactly what he said. But look at the obfuscation. Look at the manipulation. Look at the disinformation propaganda campaign used against individuals, the plebes who are finally playing in the stock market by the rules of the hedge funds. And the hedge funds and establishment are saying, wait. We can only win this game, not you, when they're playing by the rules fairly. It's absolutely insane. It's borderline criminal. If we lived in a fair system and there was justice in this this world, there would be some serious criminal charges, but there's not. Janet Yellen, I mean, she's on the take here, obviously getting paid, in my opinion, she's on the take, but she's getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars from these companies. These companies have a revolving door within the U.S. Federal Reserve. Ben Bernanke's also involved in Citadel. I mean, you could name the list of government officials that just go from one day public representatives of you to selling you out the next day, and it's absolutely sickening what's going on here. And guess what? It's only going to get a lot worse from here.
I was left dumbfounded this morning.
But this is a good sign, though. But this is how they're panicking.
The veil was shattered.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a great sign because look how desperate they're becoming that they're literally, going at the straws here, being like, silver. Now, I personally like silver. I even made a video 2 weeks ago saying, hey, I even interviewed someone in the silver business, and I was like, I personally like silver as an alternative to the dollar. Not financial advice, just my own personal opinion. But even now, when you look at the top Reddit post and you look at what people are saying, they're saying, wait, there is no short on silver. A lot of hedge funds do own silver as well, and they make good points there that really are worth considering.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Actually, before I get into it, let me say this. Silver's fantastic. Silver's great. I love silver.
Yeah,
just not when it's being pumped and dumped. When all of the media is claiming something fake is happening, like all these Redditors are telling you to buy silver. They're not. The price of silver skyrockets. You buy in when silver is at $30, and then you're all excited. And then the hedge funds who are seeking to offset their losses sell out huge portions of silver at a markup at a premium from your money. Then when silver tanks, the regular people panic, not understanding the market, losing all of that money. And then Wall Street absorbs it all, buys back the silver they gave out in the first place, and makes that money. They make money on top, and they get their silver back at the same time. That's the game. That's the manipulation.
So how you think they'll pump it?
I don't know. Some people are posting like it's going to hit 500. Oh, maybe. I've seen some interesting posts where they say, dude, in reality, silver should be way higher.
Yeah, you were saying they artificially keep the price low so that we don't panic.
That's what they're saying online. They're saying that these companies, like if silver tracked with inflation,
exactly,
it'd be way higher.
Yeah, it's been like $16 for a decade or decades.
Here's the really interesting and important thing about what's going on is that they're not telling people to buy physical silver. They're telling them to buy SLV.
That's where it's at.
I think that's silver futures. I'm not entirely sure.
Jeez, no, buy actual silver. I'm not an investment strategist, but buying stock in something is very,
Ian is a crazy hippie guy on the internet. Don't listen to him for financial
advice. You can rub it on your neck. You can stick it on your third eye. That's what I do with my gold.
Don't you drink it like you put it in your drinks?
Colloidal, it's antimicrobial, antibacterial.
They put it in their clothes. You ever see the silver clothing?
No, but I hear it's great for you.
That's why there was always the term born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
You can brush your teeth with it.
A lot of people believe that silver, has antibacterial, antiviral properties.
You can rub it in wounds.
And it kills werewolves.
Yeah, they use it
as kills
werewolves.
That's the most important part.
No, so here's the thing.
Rabid dogs.
I heard a lot of people saying they're trying to get people to buy SLV and not physical silver. But if everyone tried buying physical silver, it would seriously squeeze out all of the actual physical bullion stores and everything, which could actually have a serious impact because apparently the banks wouldn't be able to cover if people actually wanted. So I'm not going to pretend to be a stock guy. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm a media guy. I know how the media lies. I know the games they play. So don't get advice from me on what you do with stock. For me, this is about the overlap between the Wall Street Bets Redditors and what they're actually saying, and me being a critic of the media and trying to expose them and their manipulation. And now seeing how you got a bunch of it's the little guy. This dude, Deep Effing Value, who's now become a multimillionaire off of his bets. He's just some dad in like the Massachusetts area. He is not the machine. But now he's in the top 0.1% now? Net worth is like $30-something million.
Whoa.
Dude, there are CEOs who don't make that much money in a year, and he's made it in 6 months.
Doing what?
How did he make it?
Yeah.
Investing in GameStop.
Wow.
That's right. Because it was at like $5, and now it's at $300.
Wow.
So very serious increase in all of your money. And he's posting, his YOLO updates. And it's like $20 million up, thousands of percent. They don't like that. You're not allowed to be in the club. We talked about this with Bernie Sanders a while back. How Bernie Sanders used to say the millionaires and the billionaires in this country. And then one day he stopped saying the millionaires.
One day he became a millionaire.
Exactly.
He sold a book.
Yep. Sold a book, became a millionaire, and now he doesn't say it anymore. And that's insane because you still can. Not someone who's
But
got
also, we've talked about this before. I think the millionaires really aren't the problem. Maybe if you're like at 998 million.
Not, dude. Even someone who has 200 million.
200 million.
They can invest.
But someone that's worth $2.3 million isn't
right.
Yeah.
So why Bernie Sanders dropped that is beyond me. But that's. I don't want to get off on a tangent on Bernie just yet. We have some stuff on Bernie for later. The media is smearing him. What I'm saying is, Bernie was standing outside that mansion, the clubhouse, with all the elites and all the wealthy, people, and he was outside, and he was like, "Oh, I want to be inside there with the millionaires and the billionaires. Oh, the millionaires and the billionaires are awful. Screw them." It was sour grapes.
You can't beat them. Join them.
But then one day they open the door and they say, "Bernie, come on in. You can be one of us." And now he stopped saying the millionaires because they let him in the club. This dude, deep effing value on Wall Street bets, is not part of the club. And so now he's somehow found his way inside this building, and they're pissed off. They're looking over. They're all wearing their fancy suits, pinkies out with their and their monocles. And they see this dude with a red bandana on who bought a bunch of GameStop stock. And it reminds me of, like, I played a poker game once, and I literally had no idea what I was doing because this was when I was like 18. And I kept betting more, and I was holding 2-7 offsuit. And I ended up winning because the last dude folded and he was really angry. And then I showed what I had and he started screaming and yelling, "What? You shouldn't have folded. You should have folded. I should have won." And I was like, I played better, I guess. No, it was just dumb luck. I had no idea. I had the worst possible hand. And so now you have these people who are in the club who have sold their souls, who have dropped to their knees and given everything to be in that club. And this dude walks in with this bandana on, and he's like, "I don't know, I just bought a stock that was probably not supposed to go up, and I screwed the hedge funds
That's
over."
like that Eddie Murphy movie from the 80s. What was it called?
Trading Places?
Was that what it was? Yeah, Trading Places, I think, where he
movie's
became
awesome.
the rich guy. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So they give the bunk information to these big investors and then screw them over.
He and Dan Aykroyd, did they switch places?
Yeah, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, great movie.
Dan Aykroyd is this like rich Wall Street trader, and he's like snooty. And Eddie Murphy's a homeless guy, and they make a bet, and they switch him to see if they can like make it work or whatever. Yeah. It's a great movie, by the way.
Time to watch that movie.
I definitely want to watch it. But that's a really fun movie. But people are posting that like as a memes
yeah,
of that.
I saw memes of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was on my mind, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't Max Kaiser just a few years ago call for buying silver to squeeze out J.P. Morgan?
He's saying. I think Max is tweeting now to do it.
Yeah, I'm looking at what Max is doing now. I'm going to look at his Twitter account just to see, because he's also a big silver guy. He's a big alternatives guy to the U.S. dollar. So it'll be interesting to see what he says. I remember seeing a lot of silver news with him just a few years ago about this specific topic.
Listen. I like Max. He's a very smart guy. But he's also he's a crypto guy. He's a Bitcoin guy. And I wonder if his perspective on it is what they're doing to the hedge funds won't break the system. It'll break the hedge funds. And crypto will break the system. So that's why he's, telling everybody, you got to go after crypto, short squeeze the whole system. But I will say, maybe Max is right. Far be it from me to criticize that guy. That, for those that aren't familiar, Max Kaiser he's been in the game for longer than I've been alive. And there was a funny video he posted from like 1987 of him ragging on yuppies. And I'm like, dude, I was like one. So respect to Max. What I can say is the Redditors are saying, here's our mission. And so what we're seeing now with all of this, this is very similar to what happens with any semi-decentralized mass movement. We saw with Occupy Wall Street, the first one. A lot of people were like, yo, we're mad at the banks. And then all of a sudden a bunch of people came up and started screaming about unrelated issues. I remember I was down at Occupy Wall Street, and they were having a meeting over what their main demand should be. Well, everybody was there because the big bank bailouts and the gambling they did that destroyed the market, destroyed everyone's livelihood. And I remember one day while they're having this meeting with like a ton of people, some guy, just like old white dude, randomly stood up and screamed, "What is wrong with you people? Fracking is the problem. It's the center of everything." And I'm like, what does fracking have to do with the banks? But in his mind, everything, because he couldn't see past his own desire and demands. So now you're seeing a lot of people posting, "Now's our chance, everybody, buy Dogecoin." Why? So they can get rich off Dogecoin. Buying Dogecoin doesn't hurt anybody. And what happens is when the price of Dogecoin collapses because there's no demand or interest, then people get left holding an empty bag. But what they're doing with GameStop and AMC and Bed Bath & Beyond and American Airlines, these were the short targets. So now these hedge funds are going to lose money. What they're doing has an impact. But a bunch of people saw that power. They saw all of these people shining their lights in a single direction, creating a massive, effect. And they said, if only I could point that in the direction I want, I could have more power. So everyone's trying to now wield the power of Wall Street bets for themselves. We're seeing Twitter accounts pop up with the image claiming like they're part of the movement or speak, in some way for it.
Wow.
We're seeing different Reddits pop up saying very similar things, but there is an overall unity for the most part. Like there's a majority of people saying GameStop, AMC. Those are the targets.
Yeah, well, the movement's biggest strength is also its biggest weakness because it is decentralized. You don't really see a big rallying call. You do see a lot of censorship. You do see a lot of obfuscation by the mainstream media, but it's also a bunch of people being like, hey, and a bunch of noise. So it's very hard to kind of organize that into one big vocal kind of representation here. So it could be just disorganized chaos that happened organically, or it could be pushed on and spurred on by some other elites who, of course, are benefiting off of people being fractured and divided and conquered. Both are possible here.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.